Hey guys, Red Wolf here. So very recently, it seems like to me that the AT&T and Time Warner merger is going to go through. Late Thursday, AT&T Inc. announced that it would be completing its $85 billion acquisition of Time Warner Inc. After 2 days, a federal judge in Washington gave the deal the green light. AT&T wasted little time on consolidating its hard-fought prize, a blockbuster purchase that instantly transformed the phone company into a major force in Hollywood. Television networks such as HBO, TBS, TNT, TNN, Cartoon Network, Turner Classic Movies, and the Warner Brothers movie and studio based in the Burbank now have a new boss in John Stanky. Somewhere around June 20th, Time Warner will be bought out by AT&T. As we all know, Cartoon Network is under the Time Warner umbrella. I've never actually talked about this subject on my channel, but I have mentioned it in a few of my Cartoon Network rants, my most recent one being my rant on the Cartoon Network reboot, which was a video that got a lot of views for my channel, and pretty much about 99.4% of the comment section were in an agreement with me. And I thank you guys for watching the video and giving me your feedback in the comments. It just makes me glad that there are people that are against what Cartoon Network is currently doing, and not being apologetic like some goons on the internet. But anywho, let's get to my theories on what's going to happen once this deal goes through. First, I'm going to have to start with the DC Universe, since they're also part of the Time Warner umbrella. For those of you that are comic book fans, AT&T's purchase of a Time Warner could have several different ramifications. For one thing, Time Warner assets will include both Warner Brothers and DC Comics, something that could have both ramifications on both the companies' future outputs, with Aquaman, Shazam, and Wonder Woman 2 all in the various stages of production, and a slew of more DC-inspired films in the card. There is no telling what kind of impact this merger could have. According to a report back in February, the potential failure of the deal could lead to Warner Brothers potentially selling off the DC Comics related assets, something that seemingly seems not to be in the cards right now, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now let's get to Cartoon Network. Yes, the network that's been on our shit list for the past few years now. Now, I think this might be a good thing for us fans who are against the leadership and the decision-making of Cartoon Network. And I just mentioned earlier that Cartoon Network is under the Time Warner umbrella. And with AT&T owning all the rights of a Time Warner, they expect all the rights they own to do well. And as we know, Cartoon Network hasn't been the best lately. Nah, who am I kidding? They've been doing pretty terrible as we know it to be a fact. Their ratings are the lowest they've ever been, to a point to where they can't even rank top 10. It's even gotten to that point to where even Nick at Night is beating them in the ratings. Yes, a program block that mostly airs George Lopez is doing a better job than Cartoon Network in the ratings. And that's pretty sad. Say what you want to say about Nickelodeon, they're still ranked on the top 10. Cartoon Network are ranked the lowest in the network. And honestly, the only thing that's keeping Cartoon Network alive is Adult Swim. And that's sad. The causes for all of this happening were mostly due to all the Teen Titans Go marathons, the 11-minute format, and many more. And we all know who was in charge of these decision-makings. It's not Stuart Snyder this time, it's Christina Miller and all of the out-of-touch executives. And I did state before that they need to be fired. And it needs to happen because all of them are out of touch with the fans and the kids. When AT&T looks into all the problems Cartoon Network is having with the fans and ratings-wise, they would need to make a change. I said the last time that the Cartoon Network app is what Christina Miller is putting all her eggs into one basket into. I've heard it wasn't even doing all that well. They had to reach a certain amount of subscribers before the AT&T merger happens. I'm not sure about how the app is currently doing, but if the numbers are not very satisfying, then everybody who works there needs to be fired. And I would absolutely love for that to happen because Christina Miller and all of the out-of-touch executives have been running the network into the ground. Now, just because the AT&T merger is happening, it doesn't mean that change will happen overnight. I would guess they would give Christina Miller a little more time up to next year to see how she does with the network before making a decision whether or not they should keep her. And if it were up to me, I would clean house and fire every last one of these people. And it seriously needs to happen. It can't go on for much longer, and AT&T wouldn't want the same thing either. The fact that they would be spending $85 billion on the merger only to be losing money from Cartoon Network would just be bad for business, and they would have to make a change. Cartoon Network is worse than it's ever been before, and change needs to happen. Since they love rebooting classic shows so much, I think Cartoon Network are the ones that need a reboot for their whole network. And the only way it's going to happen is if Christina Miller is no longer president. Either she steps down or gets booted from the network, with the AT&T merger happening. Her days are numbered, and someday she'll realize that she's not going to be there for much longer, and will have no other choice but to step down from her position. Once she's gone, she will not be missed, and we can all celebrate. Because with all the madness she's done at Cartoon Network, it's going to create a feel-good moment for us because we had to deal with this shit for 4 years. Now, on who I think should be in charge of Cartoon Network remains unsure. I honestly don't know who should run Cartoon Network other than Jim Samples. And let's be honest, we all know that Cartoon Network was at its best when Jim Samples was running Cartoon Network from 2001 to 2007. And the only reason why he left was because of the bomb scare that happened in Boston. And it wasn't because he was a bad president. Perhaps if it didn't happen, we would have probably had a few more good years of Cartoon Network left. I'm very unsure on what he's doing nowadays. I did read online that he worked at Scripps Network Interactive back in 2011. I don't know if he still works there, what he's up to nowadays, and his willingness to come back as a president. But as of right now, he's my best bet. I don't know if he'd fix Cartoon Network with all the damage that's been done over the years, but my best bet for me would be to hit the reset button on Cartoon Network as a whole. Adult Swim can stay, but Cartoon Network really needs to reset everything. But if it can't be Jim Samples, then I really hope the next president can do the network justice. And at this point, almost anybody would be a better choice than Christina Miller. And I've had some goons ask me, "Oh, why do you want Christina Miller to lose her job? Boo-hoo! She has a family and kids to feed." It's really that simple. She sucks at her job. It's the same reason why a lot of people get fired. If you're not doing your job right, then the company could care less about what happens in your life after that. But guys, calm down already. With the amount of money she's made in Cartoon Network, she be aight. With the AT&T merger going through, it seems like there may be hope for new leadership at Cartoon Network. Well guys, that was my video. Give me your thoughts down below on what you think may happen after this merger. This is Red Wolf signing out, and I'll see you next time. Peace.